So I just saw Five Nights at Freddy's and I have to say, what the? For FNAF fans, there's a lot to enjoy and a lot to make you go, what the? For general audiences, you'll probably leave the theaters thinking, wow. What the? For starters, let's talk about the character that Emma Tammy said hadn't been revealed in any of the trailers. I have to give the crew credit for not only keeping this mysterious character out of the trailers, but also the movie. After watching the movie, I have no idea who she was talking about. We do see several suits like Sparky the dog and an unnamed Springlock suit, but I wouldn't consider these characters. Also, in the same dialogue, Emma Tammy says, that's something to look forward to, and Jason Blum adds, so get ready. Well, I'm ready. Maybe I was wrong to assume that the FNAF character was going to be in the movie. Perhaps what they meant was, there's a FNAF character that hasn't been revealed in any of the trailers. Yeah, that's true. Namely the Puppet, Circus Baby, Fredbear, Mangle, Shadow Freddy, etc. Shadow Freddy, by the way, wasn't even in the movie. After seeing his face multiple times in the security footage uploaded to Universal Pictures, the same place all of the official trailers were posted, it would be logical to assume that he was going to be in the movie. Well, he wasn't. His mask was part of the pins and needles contraption that we see the night guards getting trapped into, but what does that mean for the character? Also, we know that William's main goal is to keep people from finding out about the animatronics, so why does he hire a security guard in the first place? I mean, we know it's to keep people out of the restaurant, but isn't it also counterproductive to intentionally send someone there? If he was worried about anyone finding out that the animatronics are possessed, why not disable them like he does in the games? I guess we don't know that he hasn't tried, but the movie doesn't even attempt to explain that. Perhaps he did, starting with Foxy, and found out the hard way that they're not going to go easily. Follow Me would have been a great scene in the movie, and now we're stuck in an awkward state where some of the events from the games have been omitted, but the story presses on. For example, without getting Happiest Day before William's demise, and with the animatronics still possessed, who's gonna free them? With Abby asking Mike if they can return to visit the animatronics, it seems like the movie is setting up a sequel in which Mike and Abby return to free their souls. Now, the persistent mystery of the film is who took Garrett. Mike thinks he saw who took him and believes he can search his dreams for the answer. However, that goes nowhere. Not only is this decade-long plan a dead end, but having Abby ask the animatronics about Garrett is also uneventful. In the end, Vanessa flat out tells Mike that William took Garrett and that he unalived him. But what? Based on the opening credits, we know that William lured 5 children from the restaurant into a back room for the MCI. So why does he abduct Mike's brother from the forest? Crazy as it may be, if William had to go Dexter Morgan on someone and he was already in the restaurant, I can understand the MCI. But why make the effort to take a random kid from his family in the middle of nowhere? For his toy airplane? Vanessa shows Mike a picture of her as a child where she's holding the plane that Garrett had when he was unalived. What is William Afton, the Joker? Well, let's go over his motive for unaliving those children. Well, it's because he's a bad and cruel man. That's exactly what Vanessa tells us about William to explain his bad deeds. Honestly, using this movie's logic, that is a perfectly reasonable justification for William's actions. Why did he sabotage his career and unalive 6 innocent kids? Because he's not a good guy, duh. Also, William clearly knows Mike is Garrett's brother, so did he specifically seek Garrett out as a victim? Maybe he is Dexter, but instead of unaliving criminals, he goes after kids with cool toys that he can give to his daughter. When William initially reads Mike's name, he looks surprised, realizing he is the brother of one of his victims. So, did William pull Garrett's file before kidnapping him? It seems more likely that William adopted Garrett than kidnapped him. I mean, how would he know his last name? I guess he could have seen the news after he took Garrett, but it's interesting that he has such an extreme reaction to finding out Mike is Garrett's brother, since we know he's evil and emotionless. How about the Springlock failure scene where William utters, "I always come back," before accepting his fate? Really? When did he ever come back before? From the grave? I mean, in the Silver Eyes, William is shown to have been previously springlocked, but nothing indicates that that has happened in the movie's universe. What makes him so confident that he'll come back? I suppose he knows that stuffing the suits with the MCI led to their possession, but he can't really know how that works. I mean, are there any other instances of spiritual possession in the movie's universe? How does he know the MCI wasn't just a fluke? I suppose all of this could have been avoided if William didn't have to put on the suit to greet Mike. In his defense, the suit does stop a bullet when Vanessa shoots him, but even she knows how dangerous the springlocks are. I get that for the MCI, it made sense to use the suit to lure the kids, but what good does it do now? Does it maintain his control over them? We know they were loyal to him, but is that only when he's in the suit? Also, couldn't he have just left them powered down and not needed the suit? By the way, Spring Bonnie's introduction was so random and uneventful. I honestly like the 10-second scene from the second trailer more than all of his screen time in the movie. I mean, he literally comes out as a source of exposition and then dies within minutes. I was hoping we'd get more time with William, showing how creepy he is and watching him chase Mike out a couple of times before he comes up with a plan to stop him. But in the end, Abby literally kills him with a crayon. figuratively. Now, back to Garrett's circumstances. Does he possess an animatronic? I'm gonna save my theory for an Easter egg breakdown I'm working on, but we don't directly see Garrett in any of the animatronics. The cupcake is also possessed, so who controls him? Maybe William captured a kid who had a cupcake because Vanessa had a sweet tooth. I'll keep this section brief, but the break-in scene was not at all how I imagined it would go. The motivation behind the break-in was to get Mike fired so that Aunt Jane could have custody of Abby, and their reward? $250 a piece and all of the Faz tokens and plushies they could grab. Obviously Max is shown to be influenced by a bad crowd, but there are really 3 adult men willing to risk their freedom over a couple $100. Maybe they did it more for charity, since the cause was giving an innocent girl to her manipulative aunt, who she hates. Furthermore, Aunt Jane didn't even pay them for their previous job, so why would they risk jail time for a $250 that they may or may not even get in the end? In conclusion, I really like the movie. As always, no film is perfect, and there's always something to pick apart. While I do think this film had more than a few plot holes and left dead ends in the story, I enjoyed most of the movie, and I have to give credit for all of the references made to the source material. I do think that general audiences are going to be a bit lost, but the crew has stated that the movie is primarily for fans of the property, which I think they did a pretty good job in catering to. I just wanted to make a quick video talking about my thoughts and critiquing some of the parts that made me go, what the? For now, I'm going to be working on an Easter egg breakdown, where I've identified more than 50 references. Thanks for watching and look out for that video.